Hi, let's talk about subtracting integers today. So, subtracting integers, whenever you see a subtraction sign, I want you to get used to adding a line and changing the sign of what comes after it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Take a look here at the numbers example. 2 minus 9. Well, I write 2 minus 9 using my blue pen, and then I grab my red and I add a line and change the sign. So it becomes 2 plus negative 9. And 2 plus negative 9, well, the bad guys win, so it's negative, by 7. So it's negative 7. Take a look here, 4 minus negative 5. Well, two negatives actually morph together to be a big giant positive sign. So this means 4 plus 5, which is 9. Okay, and then take a look at example 1, right here, letter A. Negative 49 minus negative 7. Well, that minus and negative, those two negatives are going to morph together to make this big giant plus sign. So it's negative 49 plus 7. Now remember, they're going to battle. The bad guys and negatives are going to win. So I put 49 on top and 7 on the bottom, and I subtract and get 42. But the bad guys win, so it's negative 42. Take a look at B, negative 15 minus 36. Well, I wrote it out, and then I added a line and changed the sign, so it becomes negative 15 plus negative 36. Well, they're all bad guys, so they're going to get together. So add them together, and you get negative 51. Okay, take a look at the guided practice. It'll just tell you to find the difference. So anytime you see a subtraction sign, I want you to change subtraction to adding the opposite. So here I have on number 1, 18 minus 57. So I want you to add a line and change the sign of the 57. So that means 18 plus negative 57. Well, the negatives are going to win, so I put 57 on top, 18 on the bottom, I subtract, and I get 39. So my answer is negative 39. Take a look at 2. Negative 13 minus 9. Again, I wrote it out, and then I want you to add a line and change a sign. So this becomes negative 13 plus negative 9. Well, they're both negative, so just add the bad guys together, and you get negative 22. Take a look at number 3. 34 minus negative 25. Remember, when those two negative signs are there, they morph together to make a big giant plus sign. So this becomes 34 plus 25, which is just 59. And then on number 4, negative 62 minus negative 100. Those two negatives are going to morph together to make a big giant plus sign. So it's negative 62 plus 100. Well, in this case, the positives are going to win. So I put 100 on the top, 62 on the bottom, and I subtract. And I get 38. And it's positives because they had more. So it's positive 38. Okay, example 2, evaluating. That just means we're going to have to substitute the values in and then figure out the answer. So here it says evaluate x minus 33 minus y when x is 19 and y is negative 41. So I put 19 in for the x, minus 33, minus, and then I put a negative 41 in for the y. Now, I'm going to use that trick. When I see a subtraction sign, I'm going to add a line and change the sign. When I see two negatives or subtractions next to each other, they morph into a big giant plus. So that gives me 19 plus negative 33 plus 41. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put the positives together. So 19 plus 41 gives me 60. And then I just brought the plus negative 33 down. Well, now there's a battle. The positives are going to win, so I put 60 on top, the 33 on the bottom, and I subtract, and I get 27. And it's positive 27 because the positives had more. All right, example 3. It just is asking, what is the vertical height of the mine shaft? So from the top to the bottom here, they want to know the height. Well, the fastest way I know to get the distance is just to do the highest value minus the lowest value. So the highest value is the positive, the 55 feet, and the lowest value is the negative 218 feet. So I just wrote 55 minus negative 218. Now remember, when I saw those two negatives next to each other, they morphed into a big giant plus sign. So it's just 55 plus 218. And that gave me 273 feet, which matched D. Okay, so let's practice this. It says find the distance. Now remember, the trick to finding the distance is just doing the high number minus the low number. So take a look here. They want the distance between 5 and negative 20. So 5 is the highest number, minus negative 20 is the lowest number. Well, those two negatives morphed into a big giant plus sign. So 5 plus 20 gave me 25. And that's the distance between 5 and negative 20 on a number line. Okay, take a look at number 8. The distance between 6 and negative 5. Well, I do the high minus the low. So 6 minus negative 5. Those two negatives morphed into a big giant plus sign, so it's 6 plus 5 equals 11. So those numbers are 11 steps away from each other. Okay, take a look at this, number 9. Negative 2 and negative 10. Well, the highest value is negative 2 because it's closest to 0, and negative 10 is the lowest value because it's farthest from 0. So negative 2 minus negative 10. Again, those two negatives right here morphed into a big giant plus sign. So negative 2 plus 10 would give me positive 8. And then the last one here, the distance from negative 11 to 3. Well, again, the high is positive 3 minus the low is negative 11. So then those two negatives morphed into a big giant plus sign. So I got 3 plus 11, and that gave me 14.